True, searching for a single person on Tianmu Mountain is just like looking for a needle in a haystack. All we can do is wait for him to come out. Dao Xuan's voice held an easy confidence as he smiled, his eyes reflecting both wisdom and patience. Hearing these words, Bai Zigong let out a long, weary sigh, resting his head on the table with a look of exhaustion. He spoke, his tone tinged with frustration. Why does it have to be this way? I was hoping to find Shishu quickly so I could return to Mao Mountain. Dao Xuan's smile widened, soft laughter dancing in his eyes. Oh, so you don't like living here with me? His gaze lingered playfully on Bai Zigong, as if teasing out a hidden answer. The sight of Dao Xuan's gentle, knowing smile sent a shiver down Bai Zigong's spine. He immediately sat up straight, forcing a nervous chuckle. Haha, of course not. Living with you, Shibo, is a great joy. I couldn't be happier. Dao Xuan's expression softened, clearly pleased by Bai Zigong's response. He nodded in satisfaction, the sense of camaraderie between teacher and student filling the room with warmth. Behind the Taoist hall, there was a kitchen, and beyond that, a lush vegetable garden. The garden was filled with all kinds of vegetables, supplying the Taoist hall with everything needed for a self-sufficient life. The air there was rich with the earthy scent of growing things, and the gentle breeze rustled the leaves, bringing a sense of peace and simplicity to the secluded mountain retreat. By a little after 7 o'clock in the evening, Bai Zigong and Dao Xuan sat together at the dinner table, sharing a meal. It was worth mentioning that tonight's dinner had been prepared by Bai Zigong himself, a humble, home-cooked meal that filled the room with a comforting aroma. As they ate, conversation flowed easily between them. They spoke of everyday matters at first, but soon Bai Zigong brought up the strange events that had been occurring at Duan Bridge on West Lake. His voice grew more serious, the weight of his experiences evident in his words. As you said, the monster in the lake can't simply be a water demon. Water demons don't kill humans so frequently. Usually, they only harm people to use them as substitutes, so that they can reincarnate into the next life, Bai Zigong explained, picking thoughtfully at his food. He continued, moreover, when a water demon kills someone, the body usually sinks to the bottom of the lake. It doesn't float to the surface. Dao Xuan listened intently, his eyes reflecting deep thought. If it's not a water demon, then what is it? He mused aloud. Bai Zigong's expression grew determined. It's not difficult to find out. We just have to draw it out of the lake, he replied, his voice brimming with quiet confidence. Dao Xuan smiled knowingly. Are you going to do it yourself then? He asked, setting his bowl down on the table. There was a gentle teasing in his tone, but also trust in Bai Zigong's abilities. Me? Bai Zigong blinked, surprised. Aren't you coming with me, Shibo? Dao Xuan shook his head, his manner relaxed yet firm. What would I go for? You can handle it yourself. After all, you're now a level 7 Taoist priest. You should be able to deal with it on your own. He paused, then added, oh, by the way, if you need cinnabar, talismans, or sword techniques, everything you need is in the box in the main hall. Go ahead and use whatever you need. Bai Zigong nodded, grateful for the reassurance. In his own bag, he still had some cinnabar and talismans brought from Mao Mountain, but supplies would run low if he used them carelessly. Knowing there were extra materials here eased his worries. He could face the unknown ahead without fear of running out of crucial tools. As the night deepened and the world outside grew quiet, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. It was after 11 o'clock at night. West Lake had long since closed its gates to visitors, the pathways and bridges deserted, shadows deepening beneath the moonlight. Yet on Duan Bridge, a solitary figure stood unwavering. This person carried a backpack and stood quietly beside the bridge, gazing out over the shimmering surface of the lake under the pale light of the moon. In his hand, he held a compass, a tool for reading the subtle energies of the world. Every so often, he would glance down at it, checking the subtle movements of the needle, searching for any sign of disturbance. There was a quiet determination in his stance, a readiness for whatever might come. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of water and the faint rustle of distant reeds. Overhead, the moon hung low, casting a silver path across the still waters. There was no need to ask who this figure was. It was Bai Zigong, come to confront the mysterious entity that had troubled West Lake. He stood alone, yet carried with him the teachings and trust of his master, the lessons learned through years of training, and the quiet confidence that came from facing the unknown. In his heart, he recalled Dao Xuan's words, The gentle encouragement, the subtle teasing, and the unwavering belief in his abilities. As the minutes ticked by, Bai Zigong remained alert, eyes scanning the surface of the lake for any sign of movement. The world was hushed, as if holding its breath, waiting for the moment when the hidden threat would reveal itself. In that silence, the responsibility of his calling settled over him, not as a burden, but as a duty he was ready to bear. He had come to exorcise evil, to protect the innocent, and to uncover the truth behind the strange deaths plaguing the lake. Armed with talismans, cinnabar, and the teachings of Mao Mountain, Bai Zigong prepared himself for the coming confrontation. The night was deep, but his resolve was deeper still. No matter what awaited him beneath the surface, he would face it head-on, driven by the knowledge that even when alone, he carried the strength of his lineage and the hope of those he sought to protect. Thus, on the lonely bridge beneath the moonlight, Bai Zigong stood, ready, vigilant, and unafraid.